Arizona Cardinals, if they do this on Sunday, will defeat the Carolina Panthers, and it's going to look a lot like they did against New Orleans Saints. Let's talk about that and much more next.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah. Woo. Best show in the land. Yup. Listen. Come and get your information from Ben Garcia. Get the latest on your quarterback, running backs, and receivers. Tune in, so any other show you don't need them. Any news that he giving out, please just believe him. Giving out the latest prediction and top-notch analysis. Wanna hear the truth, better have thick skin like callus. The latest move that your team just made can be damaging. The dudes ain't speaking no facts, they just be rambling. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show. Go get the cameraman. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show. Go get the cameraman. The Ben Garcia Show.
What is up, guys? Welcome into yet another edition of the Ben Garcia Show. It has been an absolutely busy week here on the Ben Garcia Show. There's a lot of things to get into. We got a date with the Carolina Panthers coming up for the Arizona Cardinals. So with that being said, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. We started a little late this morning. I promise that is not my fault, but a second ago, if you were here, I accidentally hit the end stream button, and I can't just re-up the stream if that happens. I have to rebuild the entire thing from scratch. So that's what happens sometimes. However, with that being said, let's start here. Do me a favor, follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show, and subscribe to the channel. And we are here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday talking all things Arizona Cardinals, Phoenix Suns, Arizona Diamondbacks, and Arizona State University football. And we'll do that all right now. Okay, so with that being said, guys, let's dive deep into this game. Here's the first thing that has to matter for the Arizona Cardinals going in at home to play the Carolina Panthers this weekend. The Panthers have notoriously owned you. They have been owning you. 7 of the last 8 meetings, the Panthers have been kicking the hell out of the Arizona Cardinals. I do not care what the Panthers roster looks like. And if I'm being honest with you, it is either the same roster as last year or a little bit worse. The Panthers are not good. It is the same thing we talked about last year. You have to beat this team. The main reason last week when I came in here and I said, I believe the Arizona Cardinals -6.5 against New Orleans Saints, that's just a lot of points for me to get my arms around. I don't know if I could take the Arizona Cardinals just to beat the Saints by a ton of points. It is really hard to win in the NFL. And when you didn't play your starters and a lot of your secondary guys or your second string guys, it's hard to come in and just pummel a team. And when you add the fact of everyone is 0-0, the Saints still have grown-ass players on that team who are not going to roll over and don't know how bad they are yet. I don't think that's the case this week. The Panthers already know how bad they are. That game against the Jacksonville Jaguars was never close. And the Jaguars have a lot of questions when it comes to their team. Is Trevor Lawrence the guy? They just traded away Tank Bigsby already, who we all thought was going to be a fantasy darling this year. The Carolina Panthers are not a good football team. But it doesn't matter because over the last, since I was a kid, they have notoriously owned this team. It's like the Cardinals made a blood pact with the Carolina Panthers in 2008 when they beat them in the divisional playoffs, when they should not have won that game. It was Jake Delhomme, Steve Smith, Julius Peppers was on that team too. That team was a fairly good team. They won 13 games, and the Cardinals went into their house and stomped them. And ever since then, outside of one measly win against the Carolina Panthers when Matt Rule was the head coach and Baker Mayfield was the starting quarterback, they have owned you. So you have to take this game seriously. I don't know what it is. Sometimes opposing teams just have other teams' numbers. Do you remember for years, Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots? That was a team that was unstoppable, a dynasty. But it didn't matter whenever they played the Miami Dolphins and they went down to the Garden in Miami, Hard Rock. They would, for some reason, at least lose once a year. Some teams just have other opposing teams' numbers. And the Cardinals have to go into this game with that mentality. And my guy, you lacking in the chat, we lose to Carolina and then what? Don't worry, man. We're going to talk about that, but I appreciate your donation, and it's really cool to actually see you in the live chat here on YouTube, man. Appreciate you being here. We will get to your question in just a second. But you have to take this game extraordinarily seriously. And my guy Keegan in the chat as well. I'll be at the game Sunday, my first game at State Farm Stadium. I didn't know you were from Oklahoma. That's freaking awesome, dude. I went to a Oklahoma Sooners game with one of my buddies, and that completely changed my view of small towns. That little city in Oklahoma City is awesome. It is incredibly fun. So have a good time there, Keegan. It's a good stadium, definitely. Maybe not to the extent if you've ever been to the Oklahoma Stadium, because that one is absolutely insane too. And then to my guy, Saul in the chat, they make me nervous. It does make me nervous. But the training wheels are off this week. Remember how all you guys got mad at me? Because I said I think this game is going to be closer than you think against the New Orleans Saints for a ton of reasons. The New Orleans Saints are a team that have not lost a ton at home over the past couple of seasons, especially home openers. They were 6-0 in their last 6. And the fact that when you are 0-0, you can convince yourself you're a good team, even though you're not. All you have to say is, well, what if Spencer Rattler figures it out? I gave the Cardinals a pass last week when all of you guys did not. You guys expected a massive win. And the Cardinals covered, so I was a little wrong. I was wrong by half a point. But I do feel pretty vindicated. I always thought that game was going to be close. And it wasn't because I think the Cardinals suck. I picked this team to go to the NFC Conference Championship game. I am way too high on this team. This week is different. You know now what the NFL season looks like. You have a game, in your back pocket that you can refer back to and know exactly what it's going to look like. But with that being said, this should be a dominating win for the Cardinals. And I'll get to my reasoning for it in just a second. But this revenge spot is so important for not just the Arizona Cardinals as a whole to feel vindicated after the Carolina Panthers beat you and knocked you out of the playoffs last year. This is a big spot for Kyler Murray. If the Cardinals lose this game this week, a lot of people, and potentially myself, could end up breaking up with Kyler Murray. Meaning the people that defended him and said, man, he's accurate and he's incredibly athletic and he's got all these tools to him. They might end up breaking up with Kyler Murray because they'll say to themselves, well, I just can't defend anymore. I just can't defend the bad interceptions or the losses to teams that you should beat. This is a massive week for Kyler. He was one of the main culprits why the Panthers beat the Arizona Cardinals last year. And people will say to me, well, the defense is really bad. We always knew the defense was bad. The Cardinals had a chance to go down and tie this game, potentially win this game. And Kyler Murray threw one of his signature horrible second half of the season postseason picks where you were scratching your head saying, where the hell was he going with the football? Kyler has to win this game. He has to. And just so we're being fair, I think he's going to. This game is now at home. The Carolina Panthers are a joke. And Kyler Murray in first half of seasons is always a pretty good quarterback. So this week matters a ton to Kyler. Can he rectify the demons that are the Carolina Panthers that knocked you out of the playoffs just a season ago, just 3 games ago? I think it was, the Rams, Niners, Saints, just 3 games ago. It's a big week. And I'm not saying Kyler has to have 400 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. That's no. If Kyler has roughly the same stat line, maybe a little bit better, clearly. Maybe he throws for 200 yards and he's got 2 touchdowns and he rushes for another 40. We're talking about a good Kyler Murray game, protected the ball, and an Arizona Cardinals win. But what we cannot talk about this week is in a game at home where the Cardinals are supposed to win and beat a really bad team in the Carolina Panthers, who just traded away another weapon in Adam Thielen, we could not be talking about another loss, especially if it's another loss that comes at the hands of Kyler. So, although I think Kyler's going to win this game, I like to see around corners. Kyler has lost games like these before, including against the Carolina Panthers just 3 games ago. Can Kyler come out and be dominant once again against this Panthers team? And I believe he will be. But it is a small storyline, not massive. It is a small storyline, though, in the Kyler Murray experience of, can he, vindicate those demons and come out and win this game? I think he will, but it does matter more than you think. Now let's get into how the Cardinals win this game. We are going to, remember last week, I said I hope that we're having the conversation of if Kyler Murray can be a quarterback that can win a Super Bowl. And I said to you guys, listen, I know sometimes you guys disagree with me, but I was right in a whole heck of a lot of things last week. Game is going to be closer than you think. And the way to beat the Saints is we're talking about, did Kyler Murray do enough to prove to you? That's why I said to you, can Kyler throw for 200 yards, have 2 touchdowns, and run the ball effectively? That's all I care about. I'm not asking for anything insane. You guys are the ones that are trying to paint me as this Kyler Murray disdain or hater. The Carolina Panthers are an atrocious team stopping the run. If you have James Conner or Trey Benson or Kyler Murray like myself in a fantasy football league, start them. The Panthers cannot stop a nosebleed. They can't. The Cardinals need to come out here and have one of their standard Drew Petzing games. We are going to kill you with the run. We are going to punish you with the run. James Conner needs to be running over guys. And even in short yardage situations where Conner only runs for 1 yard, he is demoralizing the defense with how hard of a shoulder he can lay into someone's chest. And then same with Trey Benson. Utilize him. Bring him out of the backfield on 3rd down, knowing that he's got better vision. He finds the holes better. He can break one off for a 60-yard run, but also catch it out of the backfield and make someone miss. This is a game the Arizona Cardinals should win for so many reasons. Not just because the Cardinals are a better roster, better offense, better defense, better kicker, more experienced head coach, but because it is a mismatch. The reason why the Carolina Panthers beat the Arizona Cardinals last year was because Chuba Hubbard ran roughshod over them. Absolutely killed them. Like 25 rushes for like 150 yards. He was demoralizing. And what else happened on the Cardinals side? James Conner went out and they couldn't move the ball because they didn't know how to operate on offense without James Conner. This is a classic Drew Petzing game. Come out and run the football incredibly effectively. Don't stop rushing the football. And then when the Carolina Panthers line up 7 guys in the box, take a shot downfield to Marvin Harrison Jr. This is one of those games where now in the second week of the season, where the spread was 4.5 and now all the money has came in on the Cardinals and now it's 6.5, I would still take the Cardinals if I was a betting man to cover that. I believe the Cardinals will win this game 34-17. And I'm only giving the Panthers 17 points here because I think they backdoor cover. Not backdoor cover, because I think they get a cheap touchdown at the end of the game. Like the Cardinals got second stringers in. They just want to get the ball back so they can kneel it out. And the Panthers score a meaningless touchdown at the end of the game to make it look a little bit better, make their fans feel better. But this is a complete and total mismatch. Defensively, outside of J.C. Horn, there ain't a lot there. And on the offensive side of the ball, the Cardinals are better at every single position. I let it go last week because I said to you week 1 is weird. Because the Saints have a very rich history. Because we don't know, maybe Kellen Moore is awesome. And in Spencer Rattler's last stand, there's a lot of reasons to believe he could be better. When your back is against the wall and you've got to make all these different plays happen, I do think there's a world where Spencer Rattler can show off some of those things. And so I gave the Cardinals a pass even before the game had even started. That pass is now gone. You are better than the Panthers. You have to come out and smash mouth football them to death. And that brings me to the defensive side of the ball. When we talk about Will Johnson and Budda Baker, we'll get to them. The pass rush has to show up this week. We cannot be talking about a pass rush that got bullied again, and the opposing team's pass rush was better than the Cardinals. Meaning we're talking about who's ever on that Panthers defensive line being better than what the Cardinals have. You are at home. You know the field. You've been practicing it all year. Nick Rawlis, I thought, was to blame at least a little bit for the Cardinals' defensive concerns last week. I think they felt like, because they have all these new toys that they're playing with, that they don't have to come up with all these different design blitzes and be creative and manufacture sacks artificially. If Nick Rawlis does what he did in the Vikings game and in the Niners game last year, and to an extent the Seahawks games, if you can create some of that pressure artificially once again, we're talking about the Cardinals winning this game by even more than I said. I am not panicking on the Cardinals pass rush. Week 1 is weird. You should not panic either. No one should be panicking on anything after week 1. I understand we are Arizona sports fans. We have low sports self-esteem, but holy hell, pull yourself together. There was nothing in the Saints game last week to the extent where you say to yourself, oh my God, this team might be terrible. It is week 1. Things are weird. Did you see Bo Nix and the Broncos? They were terrible. Way worse than the Cardinals were. And they played a rookie quarterback. And they were at home. Give everyone a shot after week 1 to prove to you things are different. You see the Packers last night after 1 week? Yeah. I think they're fine. And so, pass rush has to be really good this week. Get to the quarterback. Nick Rawlis and Jonathan Gannon, they do not have that blue chip premier pass rusher. You still got to come up with sacks artificially at least a little bit. And in this game, make Bryce Young feel you. This is a Dalvin Tomlinson, Calais Campbell, Darius Robinson game. Get pressure up the middle. Bryce Young can move around a little bit. He can move the pocket a little bit. But he's a smaller player, just like Kyler. Make it hard for him to see over the line. Get your hands up. Knock down balls. Push players into Bryce Young. Force him out of the pocket into the hands of Baron Browning and Josh Sweat. If you do that, we are talking about a major Cardinals W. But this is not a Josh Sweat, Baron Browning game. This is not off the edges. This is a pressure up the middle. Push those linemen immediately into Bryce Young to where he's having trouble seeing over the line and having trouble stepping up in the pocket. All those games where we're talking about Kyler Murray having batted down balls because he is just a smaller player, and even though people don't like when I say that, that he just is. He's a small, I don't call him short. I don't call him, a midget like some other people do. I'm that respectful. But he is a smaller player. You want to know why? Because I'm a smaller dude, and Kyler's not much taller than me. Get your hands up, knock the balls down. That's what the Arizona Cardinals need to do as well. Now, with that being said, my guy, you lacking in the chat, would we lose to Carolina, then what? Let's talk about that really quickly. These are games that if the Arizona Cardinals lose, we are hitting full-on panic button. Full on. The Cardinals are supremely better than the Carolina Panthers. It is not that close. I am not going to sit here and tell you, well, every game is different in the NFL. Well, actually, the Carolina Panthers, they're coached pretty well. You had that excuse last week. On the road in a hostile environment where Spencer Rattler is trying to play the game of his life to save his job. And everyone knows we're 0-0. We're not a bad team yet. The Panthers are different. These are games you have to win. And it's different, right? Every team oftentimes falls to a team that they should beat. But really good teams don't fall to really awful teams very often. Do you want to know why? Because really good teams take care of business. And this is a test of, can the Cardinals be a really good team this year? Remember when the Cardinals beat up on the Jets and beat up on the Bears and the game was never close? Ever close. You were never talking about the Bears having a chance in that game or the Jets having a chance in that game. That's what this week needs to look like. And what did you think to yourself after the Jets and Bears games? You, Michael, Keegan, Ian, everyone in this chat. What were you thinking? Oh, damn, the Cardinals might be a really good team. And the Cardinals were not everyone's get right game anymore. You know what they were? They were everyone's get wrong game. Meaning when things were going bad for the Bears and the Jets, the Cardinals made it way worse. In a spot where it could have been a chance for those two teams to flip the narrative on their head. If the Cardinals lose this game, we're talking about a lot of we're talking about way worse things. I don't even want to go there because, I think it's unfair to just talk about the Arizona Cardinals in the sense of potentially losing this game because I don't think that's actually going to happen. But if they do, we're talking about strong concerns for Jonathan Gannon. Can he get them ready to play games that they have to win? You can only look so stoic on the sidelines and in press conferences, and that goes so far. We're looking at the pass rush saying, God, this is why you don't spend money on free agency, because it's always fool's gold. Josh Sweat stole money from you. Dalvin Tomlinson stole money from you. Calais Campbell's old. You need Walter Nolan bad now. The wide receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr., can he get separation against J.C. Horn? Legitimately, can he be a elite level wide receiver? If Marv comes out of this game and the Cardinals lose with 3 receptions, 25 yards, you best believe I'm going to rip into Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray a new one. The offensive line, they gave up 4 sacks again. Don't know what happened. It's mostly the same offensive line from last year, and now they're bad. But more than any than that, a lot of people, if the Cardinals lose this game, will break up with Kyler Murray. They will break up with Kyler Murray. And I think the Kyler Murray crowd is half pro Kyler, half anti Kyler. For now, I'm pro Kyler because I'm not going to just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I've never wavered. I think Kyler Murray is a franchise quarterback. But the closest I have ever been to breaking up with Kyler Murray was that Carolina Panthers game last year where he threw the game away when he literally just threw the interception to the opposing team. When he just threw the interception. So, with that being said, There's a lot of things at stake in this game. I don't want to lie. But I'm not really worried about many of them. The Cardinals need to come out in this game, show that they're a good team, and beat the Carolina Panthers brains in. Just beat their freaking brains in. It's a bad matchup for them. So with that being said, guys, I will be here on Monday at 7 a.m. recapping the game, and as well again on Wednesday at 7 a.m. and Friday at 7 a.m. That is what we do here. That is the schedule for the show. There's a lot of you guys in here this morning, so do me a favor. If you are in here, just hit the like button. Just hit the like button. It makes my life that much easier. And as a solo show, no producer, no anything else, you are looking at the writer, script producer, director, social media manager. I do it all here. So I think that deserves a like on its own, even if you hate what I have to say. But for everyone in this chat, there's a lot of people in here this morning. Chill Peasy, Michael, Keegan, who, depending on the day, likes me. You Lacking, Saul. Who else is in here? Kylie Productions or Cali Productions, and Ian. Appreciate you guys being here. Have a heck of a week, and be nice to each other. And my guy Robert in the chat who just showed up. And be nice to each other. And I don't say that lightly. I think we all know it's been a wild week. Be kind to each other. And God is good. And appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And I will see you guys on Monday, hopefully after a major Cardinals win. Stay safe. God is good. Life is good. It's a heck of a good Friday. Have a great Friday. And I will see you guys on Monday at 7 a.m.